yes, sure, it's about the show, but also how do I make my audience feel comfortable? And that's the storytelling.
Hey y'all, Tony Morrison here with GLAAD, with the one, the only, the stunning Priyanka.
Hello, it's me. Glad.
We are celebrating so much, actually. Number one, the release of your debut album,
Debut, Devastation.
period. First of all, just hearing that, obviously Devastation, but the words, the release of your debut album. What's your reaction to that? That's crazy.
Shock. And a lot of like, I can like feel like a battle that I've won. Everything really came together in the end to get it going, and it felt like, oh my god, I can't believe how hard this is. Like, I see why so many artists give up, because you are fighting and fighting for people to get stuff done, one, and two, to like believe in you enough to want to like work with you to finish things out. And like, hey, like, there are great people who are incredible, but like when you're not signed to a label, there's not like a manager involved, it's like all very like but then it's like, that's what the album is about. It's like fighting for what you want, whether or not you have the team or not, right?
Yeah.
It's like, so it was kind of crazy that with the album being about like breaking barriers and like healing your childhood traumas and like being so big that people can't handle you, but no matter what, you're gonna take up that space, for like that to actually be a through storyline right up until today is incredible. That's what makes it feel so much more exciting, that it's like, wow, I'm not just like talking about these weird trauma things just to like have clickbaity trauma porn. They're like real stories in my soul that I'm sharing with people, which I like.
Tell me a little bit about the name Devastation and sort of that origin story. But yeah, how did you approach building this body of work, a full album, and what that process was like for you?
Devastation came, I was on Scott Hoying from Pentatonix' balcony at his mansion. And
Love the Hoyings.
Love the Hoyings. I'm living for them. You know, we were just like talking about how people are so taken aback by people with big personalities, and him and I are very similar, like very strong personalities.
Yeah.
And we are growing up, we were told that personality is a bad thing, right? It's like, why are you so loud? Why you talk like a girl? Why are you da, da, da? And I was like, that's so stupid. Like why do I have to feel so like muted for just being who I am? Like, that's so devastating, like, to me. And that's how it started. It was like devastation. And I was like, ooh, I love making up words. Like that's her name. And then we kept calling her. We're like, she is very like this and she is very that. And when she walks, it's like the earth is gonna quake and the tsunami's coming, and that's how that's the origin story of how the name came to be. And it was the song that I didn't even think was ever going to come to fruition, because it was so rough when we left his house. It was like we had an hour left and whatever, and it kept kind of getting pushed until 2023, when we like sat down to complete it. And it was like, that's where, you know, the pre-chorus came in with I can't control myself, I'm reckless, and all that stuff, where I was like starting to like relate even more and more for every month that was passing. I was going through these like devastation kind of like situations, and then the minute that we finished it, I was like, this is what the album's called, like, for sure, because this is what it's like, this captures exactly my career. It was a very really cool process. And like with Taste Test, where Come Through came from, like, that was such a quick process. Like, it was like we recorded it all, and then it was done, then it was this, then it was out. Whereas with Devastation, it took like 2 years to make. Not because I needed it to take that long. Like, I thought this was going to come out in 2023, but just because like the process and the journey and the timing of like now is the time. And who I am now to last year to last month has changed too. So it's really cool that the messages of my struggles and my like fight to be something someday, even though you don't see a lot of brown people doing it, is what the themes throughout the whole album were.
I noticed that a little bit of everyone, background, culture, body type was represented in the music video. And it was so fun to watch, because to me, it just, as a 90s kid, I was like, wow, the art of the music video is still alive in
It
30 years.
is.
Do you have any music videos from growing up that might have inspired you or that like stuck with you over the years for this?
Absolutely. Like all of Missy Elliott's videos to me, like
Period.
as a kid,
Yes.
like all that, or like, you know, like Ludacris's videos used to at the, like they were so camp, like they were all so camp. And like at the end, there'd be like a coming up thing and you're like, oh God, that's the next song. And like, it wasn't so calculated. It wasn't like it was calculated for them, but like as a consumer, it was like, oh whoa, what's that thing? You're not thinking like, okay, well that's the next single that they're releasing 10 weeks. Like,
Yeah.
you know, it was like just like enjoying the entertainment at pure entertainment value is what music videos were back then. And you know, like Backstreet's Back was like that, like just movies. Obviously, Michael Jackson Thriller is a movie. The music video is the thing that makes me feel the most proud because like they're such a labor of love, and I get to tell the story in such campy ways.
I want to talk tour. We got
Yes.
album, video, tour.
Album,
Are
video,
you ready?
I am ready, but not. Touring as a non-drag, like I'm still a drag race girl, but like not on like a not drag race tour is tough because you're doing all the marketing promotion yourself. It's more of that fight that I'm having to do to like market it properly and make sure, you know, we sell more tickets here, we sell more tickets there, and like I'm so much more in the weeds. But this is the struggle of the musician and the artist, right? Like this is what we do. We go on the road and we do smaller venues and we try to sell them out, and once we sell them out, then we can go play festivals. Like I'm doing the music grind, and that's what I'm ready for. Ready to like take this show with costume changes and live singing and all the things, and make those smaller venues feel like a full concert arena and make people feel seen and heard and not judged. And like, you know, it's all about the atmosphere for me that I'm the most excited about.
You're not gonna have a choice by October.
It's coming around the mountain. I'm looking at the calendar and I'm seeing the date. I'm like, right, so you better be ready, bitch, because it's coming.
With the people that you are meeting on tour from all over the country, all over the world, what are you hearing from people and from the LGBTQ community? What or who catches your eye? What comes up the most? What are you seeing out there on those streets the most?
It's a lot of like, thank you for actually coming.
Wow.
A lot of like cities feel like, because of the pandemic and all that stuff, they feel like a little bit like forgotten about. Money is a really tough thing for a lot of people right now, which is like why I kept my ticket sales low and the prices and stuff, because I'm like, well, is this a money maker? Is this just to get people, like, what is the vibe? But I'm like, for my first one, let's just try to get as many people as they can to pay their $25 ticket to just get in there and get a full show where it's not just 2 songs. So it's a lot of that where it's like they feel like, oh my God, like thank you for coming. Oh my God, like we didn't think we'd ever see another drag queen, you know, like things like that. A lot of like, thank you for being brown and proud. People are so happy that I'm putting Bollywood influence in my music and that I'm loud about my, you know, my whole show is storyline based. You know, I tell the stories of dating, I tell the stories of YTV, but then I also perform it around my music, and people are often like, whoa, I feel seen. I'm like, yeah, girl, like I want to do the same shit in my small town. Like I get it. People are still afraid to let loose, like experience.
Yeah.
It feels like they're like, and that's what I'm hoping to break through, is that like, how do I have a show where it's like, yes, sure, it's about the show, but also how do I make my audience feel comfortable? And that's the storytelling. That's the like, you know, we're all talking this, we're all in this together. The intimacy is so important because you know, these people come to concerts, it's scary to go to a concert. Are you joking? I don't know what to wear and this, and maybe I want to go, I don't have any friends to go see Priyanka with, and so I think it's a lot of like that stuff that needs to be healed in the queer concert goer world that I'm excited to like hope.
I think you're onto something for sure, and you're a true queen to give people the access to you. Are you kidding?
Absolutely, always.
Well, listen, I know you're a Canadian queen. Here in the US, we are in an election year.
Yes, you are.
For people who might feel like their voices or their vote may not matter, they're too small to make an impact in their own communities, what would you say to those folks?
I get it. I know that you feel small, and I know that you are like, yeah, like, does it matter? Like, does it really matter? But that's only because whatever and whoever has been in these high position in politics in the past, like who they have been and the foundation that they've built through society, has never been able to make you feel important. And that's why you have this mentality and that you have so much more power than you think. Like, that's the tea, is that like we all have so much power and we forget because we are told that we don't have any. It's like, fall in line, follow the rules, be this way, da 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 da. But the only reason why you think that way is because you didn't vote in the past. Whereas now you need somebody, you need a leader who can like actually make you feel like you have value. Think about it this way: I should vote because I actually want to know that my vote counts the next time voting comes around. Because you'll know.
Anything else you wanted to share about anything you're working on? Just like a little message to maybe any little drag babies out there.
Well, I mean, congratulations to Lemon for winning.
Ooh.
Canada versus the world. That's so incredible. We have 2 crowns now in Lemyanka, which is so crazy. To my fans, I love you so much. I can't wait to see everybody on the road. Like, that's gonna be so cool.